Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our iOS stream today with Timo and me. Today, again, Timo, or not again, Timo as the presenter and me as the moderator. Yeah, as the title says, we want to have a look at the new and awesome, hopefully awesome Swift charts for iOS. And with that, I hand over to Timo.
Yeah. Today we want to, as Andreas already said, we want to have a look at the Swift charts, and we do it like the last time we did with Jonas when we checked out the new navigation in Swift UI. So we jump into Xcode and try a little bit the stuff out and see how far we can get and how it feels and how and what we can do with it. And yeah, with that said, we can jump directly into the code, I think.
So maybe one question already.
Yeah.
Is this already like released for production or is it beta or?
It's a new SDK coming with iOS 16, which gets released probably in September.
Okay.
So you have to use iOS 16 to use the Swift charts. So it's a new feature.
Okay. So you can only use it for new clients or
Yeah.
updated clients. Yeah. Okay. But you on iOS you don't have the issue like Android where it takes 10 years until everybody moves to the next
normally
version.
the iOS user updates very quickly. So yeah, Apple recommends mostly the current version -1. We try to support this, or you should support the current version -1, and yeah. So, but you can, with compiler flags, you can say if iOS 16, and then open another view which uses the charts, for example.
Yeah.
And you can provide an alternative when it's not iOS 16.
Okay.
That's also possible. So, but for today, I installed a new Xcode beta 5. So it's the current beta version of Xcode, and this one is with iOS 16. And here is also the file which we used last time, the navigation stuff we did. So I just created a new Swift UI file. It's an empty one. And yeah, and then we try out the Swift chart stuff. So to test it or to use it, we need actual the SDK. So we import charts.
So as a non-iOS guy or long time not iOS guy, do you need to also add a module or so as a dependency, or
No,
is this standard modules?
It's standard, yeah.
Okay.
So and with that imported, you can then use a chart, and you have here different possibilities. You can add data or content. So we start with the content, and we have different types of charts. So, for example, a bar chart. The name is bar mark because it's one line in the chart. They all named it mark. So you have bar mark, line mark,
Okay.
point mark,
Okay.
and so on. But we have a look at this later. So we just start with a bar mark. And then we can have a look at the initializer. So we have an X and a Y, a width, height, and stacking. So we just use for now the X and Y thing. So what we can now add is a value to that. So for the X-axis, we say, okay, the label is, now we need some example data. Because we have a hot weather right now, so I thought we could use temperature, maybe.
Yeah.
And we could say the value or...
But is it a temperature the X-axis or the Y-axis?
Yeah, now we have to decide that the temperature should more the Y-axis. So I would say we say the day, for example, and we just start with Monday. And then we can say here, okay, on Monday we have a temperature, but So the labels here is just a naming thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a property, for example, 30.
Okay.
And then we can also already see that a bar chart gets created with the x-axis is Monday and the y-axis from 0 to 30, because I added 30. When I say 130, it would be a little bit hot, but you can see the y-axis, the scale automatically adjusts to the data.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do anything for that.
Okay.
And yeah, and if we want to do another one, we could say, okay, I just copy it, paste it, and say we have Tuesday. And in the preview, you can see how it updates.
Okay.
So like 20.
So such a bar mark is like one data point.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. But you always have to specify the axis names.
Yeah. For a bar mark, yes. You have some other marks. I think it's an error mark. They have additional stuff because it's another visualization of this data. So, but I haven't tried out everything yet.
Okay.
So I had a quick look before the stream. So I basically only used the standard ones, I would say.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, that's basically it. What it's needed to do a chart. So now we could say, okay, we don't want to specify each mark for every data. So let's create an array of data to use it. So we say let temperatures, and then we could say we need to do an array. Maybe we should define struct temperature. So we can use it easier. So we say let day.
Mm-hmm.
So the temperature for the day is the idea behind it. And then we say, okay, we have the degree. It's degree in English, right?
Yeah.
And we say it's a double.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can just say, okay, we create some temperatures. Not here. It's type temperature, and then we say, okay, let's do Monday 30. Then let's copy this with some Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Something like that. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then we just add random numbers. Oops. Oh, it was very hot this week. So let's
Also add some not integer numbers, double floats, just for testing. Yeah.
So, and now when we want to display these temperatures, we can say one way is, so we say for each.
Mm-hmm.
And we say, okay, for each over the temperatures. And then we do it like that. To use it this way, temperatures, is already complaining. So
What?
we have to add one temperature here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can say, okay, now it's not Monday, now it's temperature.day.
Yeah.
And the value is temperature.degree.
I think you forgot an R at the end of temperature.
There we go. So, and to use the stuff in for each, the type has to be identifiable. So we need to add this one. Identifiable is we can have a look. It's a protocol. which ensures that the object has an ID, a hashable ID.
Okay. And what is the ID in our case?
So basically, ID could be every type. So we just say, okay, our ID could be the string, could be the day. So it's a string. And we just say, okay, it's the day.
Okay.
So normally you could create a UUID or it depends on your data you want to have.
Okay.
So for now, for the example, we just say, okay, we have every day only once.
Yeah.
And then we use it as ID. And then the compiler error is gone. And if I resume the preview, then we can see, okay, we have now charts from Monday to till Sunday. And maybe we can say, okay, the frame height is 300. Then it gets a little bit smaller. Maybe add a little bit of padding.
Yeah, please.
So, and
cool.
And so you can display a bar chart. And you can also say, okay, we want to change X and Y axis. So for example, we just exchange them. And then you get horizontal lines.
Nice.
So it depends what you will do with the X and Y axis, how the chart will look like. So let's do it back. And yeah, now I have set we have different marks. So we can when we want a line chart, for example, we just change it to line, and then we get a line chart.
Okay.
That's why they have mostly the same constructors or initializers. So you can just exchange that. I think rectangle is also one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You also have area, but area is different. So area is when you have a line chart, for example, when you want to show average around this one, average data. So so an area around the line.
Yeah, it's like the median and stuff.
Yeah, example. So average data.
Quantiles and so on.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly.
Can you now, for the line chart, for example, mark the spots?
So the exact data points you mean? Yeah, you can do that. It's let's see. I think you can do it on the foreground style. And then you can say no, it's let me check. It's simple. And then you can say, so I don't know if it's the correct one, so we try it out.
Yeah.
And we say, no, I have to put it into the for each. So we say temperature dot day. No. So now the testing starts. How this works. So I can say by foreground style by, and then I could say a value, and we do the day value. Let's see if that works. Now, okay. Foreground style is when you want a legend and for every data point a different color.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's not what we want. But yeah, we can try it another one. So we have a line, and what you want is basically something like that, right? The point.
Yeah. You could.
We can compose them. And I say, okay, I have a point mark and line marks.
Yeah.
And then that should be the result.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like Swift UI, all views are composable. And they get like an overlay. So
yeah.
So then you can see the points. And I think now the symbol thing should work maybe. So So we can say dot symbol by this one. No. Okay. Let's
What
check that
does
out
the
later.
symbol thing mean?
Yeah, it's the legend, or
Ah,
so we can say each point should have a different symbol when you have multiple types. For example, we can say, okay, now we have temperatures for the days, and what we could do is to say we have another struct city. It could have a name and temperatures, which is basically an array of temperature. And then we could say let Karlsruhe. For now, I just create the structs and the variables on global level.
Yeah.
That's only for
testing and
testing
showing.
or to have it easy and quickly to show it. Normally, you wouldn't do that like that.
Don't do this in production.
Yeah. So we have Karlsruhe, and it's basically a city. The name is Karlsruhe. And the temperatures, we just copy these. So what we now can do is to say, now we have different levels of data. So we have a city, and then we have days with temperatures.
So you could have cities, maybe. Or
for example, yeah. So let's do it like that. We have cities.
Yeah.
It's an array of city. And we start with only Karlsruhe.
Yeah.
So what we can do, we can say for each, but also on the chart level, we can do we can add data, as we have seen before in the initializer. So we can say here we have data, and it's a random access collection. So to say it's an array. So let's do it here. It's our cities. And then we can say city in, because we get one city. Now we have the same problem as before. City has to be identifiable. And just copy paste this here and say here we have name. So now you shouldn't have two cities with the same name.
Yeah.
Which could be possible in Germany. So maybe the name is not the best way to use the ID, but for now, for our purpose, it's enough. So we say we iterate over cities, get a city in, and now we have to say city.temperatures. Temperature. So then it should work like before. So we shouldn't. I can remove this one. And just to check it, we change it to a bar mark again. Resume the preview. So let's see if that works.
Cannot preview.
Build succeeded. Go.
There was a small message saying cannot preview.
Yeah. Sometimes it's
okay.
Update failed. Wow. Reload. So now it works. Yeah, that's the stuff with preview. In the beta, the preview is better, definitely better than before.
Okay.
But it's still not perfect.
Okay.
So sometimes you have to reload it sometimes before it works. So nothing changed, nothing special. But what we can do now, we could add another city.
Yeah.
So for example, Frankfurt. Then we add some other data so we can see a little bit of difference. So a little bit colder there.
Yeah. up in the north.
Yeah. So, and now what should happen?
You need to add it to the list.
Genau. Now we add it to the list, and hopefully the chart reloads itself. Let's see. Okay, the preview is working.
Yeah,
A little bit
something-
changed, but it's you don't see any difference.
Yeah, the bar charts are overlapping.
Yeah, exactly. So that now that comes in place what we had before with the foreground style
Yeah.
by, and we say it's the value. Now we want to differentiate it between the cities. So the label would be city.
Yeah.
And the value would be city.name. And then Swift Charts all automatically creates a legend for that and changes the color. So the default, if you have more than one data source for the bars, the bars get stacked.
Yeah.
You can say also with position by, and then you can say the same one like here. Then it's not stacked anymore.
Okay.
And here you can also see the power of this SDK. Before you all have to create every item on this view by yourself, have to calculate the scales of the axis and stuff like that. And now you just declare what you want to see and throw the data in it, and voila, you get the chart.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I worked with or tried to work with Android with some charts to just make a line chart.
Yeah.
And basically what you had before with the dots on every measurement, basically, and the line between. And it's such a pain, and you have to use some third-party libraries that are not so well maintained. And yeah.
So when we change it back to mark, then you can see we have two lines.
Yeah.
And now we can say we add a symbol again. And we say every time by, and then it has a value, and we say, okay, each city should have a different symbol. And then you get automatically a different symbol.
Oh, nice.
So it's now it's changing the symbols based on the value.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really cool, I think.
So if I would have to write another thesis, I think I would make my charts now with SwiftUI instead of LaTeX.
Yeah, and you can have different types of charts. So that's the easy one. What else can you do? So we have values above 10 or 15, I would say. You can also adjust the scale. So you could say we have something like, how is it called? Scale Y, chart Y axis. Visibility, you can change the content and the scale. And yet now we could say we give it a range. And we say, okay, the data is now between 15 and 40, I would say. So we say 15 to 40. Oh,
what happened?
Scale range should... Why? I thought it should work like that. No, it's not a height.
Yeah, I mean, the height is still the same as before, but that's strange.
Maybe it's not range. Let's see what we else have. Scale.
Domain.
Range configures the scales for charts. Position scale range. Then we have domain, scale domain. Let's test this one. Scale domain should also take numbers. So now check it again. This one is the correct one.
Okay.
So if you don't use it,
charts
automatically creates the values, and then I can say, okay, I only want the scale between 15 and 40, and then it rescales. and shows only this range.
Nice.
What else can we do? I think we can, let me check, what else can we do? Or any questions till here?
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can raise them always. One question I would have is,
Yeah.
how is this? How would you handle dynamic data or scrolling, maybe? So if you have more than these days, maybe you have 2 weeks of weather data.
Yeah, good question. I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know if the chart is able to scroll or if I have to embed it in a scroll view. We can try it a little something. So let me just add more data here.
Be careful, the days our index. Oh. Okay.
Now let's do it like that.
Good.
So at the moment it scales to the width it has. So it would shrink the thing together. So what we can try is if we embed it in a scroll view or something like that. I don't know if that works.
Yeah.
So, and should say axis. So I could say horizontal. Okay.
Something changed?
It's doing strange things.
The height was correct. I think
I just
maybe you can change the width.
But it's a little bit weird that it's no on. So I could scroll, but it's scrolling the complete thing here.
Yeah, not.
So that's not what we want.
I mean, you would need to limit the data that you feed in, basically, I guess.
Yeah, maybe I can bring up maybe the Apple side. Maybe they have an answer for that. So that's basically developerapple.com documentation for charts. So let's see, maybe we can find something here. So here are an overview examples if you want to have a look at it. So you can say bar mark, foreground color style. That is for one only. Encoding, masking, clipping. Visualize apps data. Chart content builder, chart that's only protocol. Yeah, good question. What happens if you want to scroll or scale range, position scale range?
That could be.
Plot dimensions. Yeah, I don't have an answer to that right now. Axis, annotations. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, maybe you can have a quick search on Google or something.
Yeah, I've already tried.
So what also is cool, the standard stuff comes also with charts. So you have automatically the color scheming. You don't have to do anything for that. That's basically what SwiftUI does.
Yeah.
Then you have orientation scaling. So as you can see, it gets wider on landscape automatically without doing anything.
That's really cool.
Dynamic types are also supported. Dynamic types are different font sizes.
Okay.
And it adjusts automatically. So yeah, as you can see here, that's not the best thing. But you also have a possibility to change the description of the axis. So you could say, I reformat this text here, so just use the first letter or something like that.
Can you like turn it also to write it vertically also?
Good question. I'm not that deep in.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, let's see what options do we have on the chart. Maybe we can say chart legend, chart visibility, content.
Y-axis also. I
So
mean,
what do you want to do?
x-axis. Yeah, the
X-axis.
yeah.
You want to change the content, right?
Yeah.
So let's see what happens when we say we just add a text here.
Let's get rid of my.
Okay, that's not working. Instant method x requires that x-axis content. Okay. What is x-axis? What's that? It's a protocol without anything. Okay.
Okay.
And here you have a builder. Okay, let's try it again. So that's basically just trying stuff. I don't know if that works. So extension on text, axis, content, axis, content.
Okay, so now you made text an axis content basically.
Fixed. Oh, it needs something. So it's required that it has a method like this. And what do we have to do there? We have to return x-axis content output. Okay.
What the?
But it's underscore. Underscore is most likely an internal thing. And normally you aren't allowed. If it's a private API thing, I don't know.
There was a builder, right? Maybe we have to use the builder for the access content.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, the access content builder. I mean this
Build block.
Build either. Is there more if you scroll down?
That's the content builder here.
Awesome.
So basically you can say build block access content, but I don't know. Okay. Maybe we have to do that in a different stream. I have to check how this works.
Yeah.
But it seems that it's possible.
Yeah.
So on WWDC videos, there were plenty of, or at least 2 or 3 sessions about Swift UI charts, Swift charts.
Okay.
And there is an advanced session, but I haven't watched it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is some advanced stuff, and maybe we can do it next time or something.
Yeah.
So what else can we do? We have the different types. So let's see if that.
Maybe the next question.
Yeah.
What would you do with dynamic data? So you put, I guess this is Swift UI, so you just basically re-render depending on the state.
Yeah. So what dynamic data do we mean?
Yeah, like a new weather data comes in or so. And the next data point for the next day or next minute.
If one gets added here. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then normally you would have you would say you have some kind of model for this UI or something.
Yeah.
So let's say we have a class view model. And then you can say we have an observable object.
And then you can react on that.
And then we can say in here we have a published property like cities.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, let's copy these in here.
Mm-hmm.
can say this one is the published property.
Yeah.
Var. And then we have in here a add observed object model. This one is a view model, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can say in here we have view model.cities.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully this still works. But it failed. What did I miss? Can I do
Karlsruhe and Frankfurt are
property?
red in the cities list.
So let's change this a little bit. So normally you would load the data and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
So let's
only
just
hacking.
Hack this a little bit here. Temperature. Well succeeded. And now this should work, still work. So let's change something to see if we have a change in the view. It's reloading.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, but it's working okay.
Awesome.
Now it's outside the range. So if I do 16, okay. So it's still working. Now we use the view model, and SwiftUI now already automatically watches the cities array.
Mm-hmm.
And if this one changes or something in it, it would automatically re-render the view.
Okay.
As you said, as you have seen
Yeah.
now, if I change it. Now it's the preview. The preview already gets rendered when the code changes.
Yeah,
but in a normal app, you would have the loading event. So, for example, from an API, you get a result, pass it, and add it to this. For example, a new city.
Yeah.
Or you change inside a city something, then it would automatically update the view.
Cool.
So here, every time the array changes, it would trigger a UI update.
Cool.
That's the nice part of SwiftUI.
Yeah.
You have to be a little bit careful about that. So I saw projects where every property was published. That's basically not the best idea.
Yeah,
because then it would change too much UI refresh.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to think about what do you publish and what not. So you also could use cities without published, but then you won't get the updates, or you won't get an UI refresh when something changed. So basically, you do only the published part on properties, which changes the view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of course, stuff that does not change the view. Why would you re-render the view when it changes?
Yeah. But I saw code where every property was published.
Okay.
But it was definitely not needed there.
Yeah.
So that you have to keep in mind.
Okay.
So why is that the formatting so weird?
Yeah, it's really no.
Yeah, formatting in Xcode is also a little bit weird sometimes. Xcode 14 is better now.
Okay.
It basically improved a lot. So you said, as you have seen before, when I type, let's do something with a lot of values. So for example, the frame, when I frame, and you can see here I have a lot of parameters.
Yeah.
And normally in Xcode 13, you have to type everything out. Or if you only want the max width, you have to say frame, something like that. And then you have to add max width and so. And now with Xcode 14, you could say frame and then max height.
Okay.
And it auto-completes correctly.
Okay,
That's one new feature
that's
they
very,
have,
yeah.
and that means a lot. So
Yeah,
if you type Swift UI a lot, then you
yeah.
often need a frame stuff, and
Yeah, yeah.
so that's nice to have.
Yeah.
So what else could we do? If that was we can have a look at other marks, for example.
Yeah.
I think we had the point and the line.
Yes.
So the
All
point
set together.
it's only the points
Yeah.
with different symbols. What else to add? Area. When I say line, we also have a rule mark.
To how we want to draw the line, or
Yeah, it's basically if you have something like an average value. So
okay.
you could say, okay, something like that. The X start value is let's see how that works. Value. So in Swift charts, it's always the value thing with label and value.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see how that works.
Maybe
No, that's the value, the wrong one, of course.
Temperature. Okay.
Temperature. Oh, can't write. So, and let's say we want to like 30.
The value thing is missing. The dot value. Dot value is missing.
Remove too much.
Yeah. Maybe you can say the degrees -5 or so. If I understand it correctly. And for the end, +2 or so. Just.
So if we do the same, it should. Wow.
Quit unexpectedly.
Okay, that's maybe not good.
Didn't like that. Maybe it doesn't like the same value.
Let's try it out. Is that okay? No.
Maybe try different values. Maybe
X start and X.
Well, it doesn't say min and max, so.
Is it like Monday? On the X value, we have the days on the X axis.
I
don't know. Let's see.
Yeah.
At least
it doesn't explode directly.
Yeah. No. Oh, where is it? Maybe we should say we
disable one city.
Disable one city. Oh, come on, update.
I thought you have an N1.
I have.
How bad would it have been with the old one?
It's an M1 Max.
Oh.
Yeah, you can see the course.
Wow, it's really working.
So now, okay. Let's see, what do we have here? We have, this one is the
normal one.
Normal one. And Sunday, Monday. How does it work? I thought it would easy to.
Maybe you can do Wednesday instead of Sunday or so that it's not a full range.
So on the x-axis we have the days.
Yeah.
So if I would say, but I want to draw a line. So at 30, for example. So an average temperature line, something like that. So how shouldn't it be possible that I say 30 and 30? No. Okay, definitely not.
Definitely not.
Okay, X. Let's see what else do we have here. Okay, we have X
Ah,
start,
and you
and
can
we can
also,
also say only a Y. So let's do that.
yeah,
And I think that's what we want. So we
Yeah.
could say something like average, and then we say 30.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
that makes more sense.
Okay, so we want to draw a rule, as a line,
Yeah.
for example, on the Y value.
Hmm.
Yeah, okay. So that's basically when you want to do an average or something like that.
Do you need to do this in the for each, or should you do it outside of the for each?
It depends where the data comes from.
Because I mean, this is now,
It should, if this data here depends on the temperature, I would do it in the for each,
yeah,
of course. So, and if it depends on the city, then it's outside. It depends where the data come from.
yeah.
So,
But if it's like an average temperature
so
for
we
the
could,
city,
maybe we could try that. If we say we have here an average,
or just calculate it.
average is double. Oh,
Yeah.
double. And we say, what do we want here? We have the temperatures. So we want to calculate the average.
Ah, okay. It's like a dynamic property now, or
Yeah, it's a calculated property.
yeah. Can you just do a sum of, or sum by, it would be called in Kotlin?
It would be, let's see, temperatures
Map or
dot, or how is it called? I always forget it. So it's looping and it's adding the stuff. It's
reduce?
Reduce, yeah. Thank you.
Oh no. No, please no.
Why not?
Is there no sum or so?
So we could do reduce. Initial
Yeah.
result is
Zero.
0. Next result would be partial results don't equal temperature. Something like that.
Dot degree, I guess.
Let declaration cannot be computed.
Temperature is an object or a struct.
No, it's the value of
But temperature is an object.
temperature.
You made equals.
Degree, so partial result should be our double value which comes in.
Yeah.
So I would do some plus.
That.
Wow.
That's the reason why it didn't work. You had it wrong. What?
Left side mutation partial result is a let constant. Yeah, you get a constant in here, so we could say
You just return this or
current equals partial result.
do you need to return the news thing?
Yeah.
Okay, then you can just use normal plus and return that. There's no need to do the equals thing. Yeah. And we need to divide by the number of temperatures.
So now we have
yeah,
like that. Cannot
as a double or what? Come on.
well succeeded. So now we have an average per city, and now I could say city.average.
Yeah.
And hopefully that works. Yeah.
Maybe at the second city. Yay. But
Okay, we
why
have-
is the line not green?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because maybe it's where we add this one, because we added it only in the one for each. Can we do it on the whole chart? No. Yeah, in Swift UI, it depends where you add this stuff. So we add here
Okay.
this stuff, this differentiation only on this for each, and not on the rule. So if I would move this one into here, it should get different colors. Yeah.
Can you, but
So-
now you added it a couple of times. You added for every temperature, you add the
Exactly.
new rule mark, which isn't
So
optimal.
basically, that's not what we want. We want to do it like that.
Is there something like a group or so?
Yeah, we can say, okay, we need give this, and exactly, it's a group.
Yeah.
And we, hopefully that works, because the position, yeah, okay, position. And the problem is now the types aren't correct anymore. This we want there, the symbols we also want there, only the color we want on the group, but the foreground style,
Yeah.
maybe I can't apply it on a group.
Or you can apply it on the whole chart. Maybe that works there.
And here it doesn't know the city.
Ah, okay, yeah, sure.
What happens if we do it like that?
Probably works, but actually.
Oh, I used the wrong button. What? Don't. Cannot go find city. That's an old one. Hello, compile. What are you doing here?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Is it always that slow, or is it because of the beta and stuff?
Yeah, it's the preview.
Okay.
The preview is not the fastest one, so if you do more complex stuff, sometimes it's faster when you start a real simulator. But for the streaming, it's better to use the preview here, because otherwise I have a different window and stuff.
Yeah.
I could also start it in the real simulator.
Maybe
Let's see,
you
but
need
I
to remove the
don't-
group again.
Yeah, the group is okay.
Maybe it doesn't like this.
Yeah. So let's see. Will succeeded. Simulator. Yeah, but that's the stuff you need to figure out how you do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a beta, so.
Yeah, and you have to keep in mind that's the first version of Swift charts. It's just, it's
only getting
charts.
started.
Yeah, 1.0. Yeah, but it works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you have to say, I want different colors for city name. But now it's not working.
Not in the preview, but in the simulator it worked.
Oh.
You clicked in the.
Yeah,
yeah.
Exactly. That's also something. So when I continue now the preview, it should also
okay.
working here.
Okay.
Okay, that's I think that's all for today.
Yeah.
At least I don't have another idea what we can try out.
The time is also over,
So do we have any questions in chat? Doesn't look like so. So yeah.
But nice. I really like this. From personal experience with Android trying to get some charts, it's hell. I would really like Google to also provide such a library.
And basically what is cool, it's basically 16 lines of code.
Yeah. And
they're the pure chart stuff.
Yeah, and it handles the scaling and that also that you have different symbols and the legend and so on.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. That's cool.
Yeah.
And so really looking forward to how this will develop and what will come on top of that and how they will improve it. That's really cool.
Yeah. Okay, then let's wrap it up for today.
Thanks a lot and see you next time.
Probably next week, or next week we both do a backend stream or not? don't
I
know.
guess yes. Now that you're saying it, yeah. So Friday again.
So you are not on vacation or something like that next week?
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. Then stay tuned for next Friday, backend stream, Kotlin again.
Yeah.
And Quarkus, and yeah, let's see what topic we have.
Yeah.
And yeah, till then, happy weekend.
Happy weekend.
Bye bye.
Bye guys.